All right, so what I want to talk about on this convertible is be one of the final videos we do with it, but the CSI polish enhancer. Now, they say to use this stuff with their red foam pad, but I am not a real big fan of these big gaudy pads. I use this on their first step that they say do, but to get all of the halo effect out, I used my Griot's Garage DA sander and a Griot's. I even used the orange pad with the first step of CSI to take out some places around the edges that big old fat wool pad just will not get to. And with the CSI, it did its job, even on the wool. I used the Griot's red waxing pad to do the CSI. Got to wash those out. Polish enhancer. So I use this with this pad on this final step. Now, most of the collision industry that uses this stuff would not use this step here. This is more for show cars. But I was very impressed with it. It took very, very little of this stuff. It takes way more of the other on the first step. So you need to go back and watch my other video, but to recap, I used a wool pad, a Makita buffer, and CSI's Ceram X, and you use this with the wool to get it looking good, and then you use this with their red foam pad. Although if you wanted to go up to a DA sooner after the first step, I don't see where you could go to this pad here and it would probably do about the same. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying I am not a fan of these machine buffers. They sling stuff everywhere, and you can't get into tight crevices with them like you can the Griot's DA. And Griot's makes a smaller DA to get into even tighter. I don't have one, but just a thought. So what I'm going to discuss now is the convertible a little bit and what I did here to get this final finish. And I'll try to not gripe and moan too much about pixelation in the clear coat, because we know that I've beat that horse to death. I've got another video I meant to upload. I haven't uploaded that yet. Whining about pixelation in the clear coat. So anyway, I may whine about it in this video and not upload the other one. But anyway, so final step of CSI. I used the Griot's red pad and the Griot's DA polisher. And this is what we got. I'll do a final video before the car goes home. Walk around once I get the seats covered and back in the car in the next week or so. And but I really can't do this video without talking about wrinkle back, pixelation, whatever the heck you want to call it, a little bit. I'll just say that using the CSI, whatever that thousands of people who run a buffer across this country is doing wrong, either too high RPM speed, reactivating solvents, whatever. I've heard it all. This stuff does the best and causes the least amount of pixelation that I've saw versus 3M. Do not use a petroleum-based polish, especially on a fresh paint job. It will die back bad. And I mean not just wrinkle back, it'll die back. It'll go flat on you. Had it happen to me before. So I am very, very impressed with how this turned out. This second step of CSI give the paint just another level, and it is great. So like I said, I did a little work around the edges to take out some of the haze where I missed, and there's still some like 800 scratches or something there that you can see, but you can't see any of that outside. And I still don't claim to be the detail shop. So for me, being a pretty amateur buffer and detailer here, I think we did okay. I highly recommend the CSI stuff. There may be some other water-based stuff out there that's just as good, I don't know. But being with the Tamco line of paint now, using a lot of Tamco, they recommend the CSI stuff. This is a Tamco. If anybody wants to know about the paint on the car, it was stripped to the metal. It was epoxy with PPG commercial epoxy. I used, on this particular car, I used SPI 2K high build. I used Tamco base coat over a PPG, the same epoxy, to get a darker, and this is a Toyota dark salsa red to imitate the 70 black cherry with a pop and a twist a little bit here. So I've actually switched over to Tamco 5310 for my high build now. I kind of like it a little better. It builds a little better, but nothing wrong with SPI. I don't have any complaints against either of those companies. They're both mom and pop owned. One's out of Georgia, one's out of Virginia. They all seem to be helpful, and I got to give Tamco the edge. But and this is SPI Universal Clear, and as you can see, you can't have any complaints on this clear. One thing I will mention briefly about the clears: Tamco recommends 3 coats only. You have to cut it to put more, 600 and put more. SPI, they don't do that, which is one of the reasons why I've kept using SPI and not switched to Tamco on the clear, because I like to put 5 coats of clear. Well, I don't care to sand the clear and paint again. So, not saying, you know, that won't be something I might do on a special project. If somebody wants me to do that, I will. But it's not the way I do things normally. There was 167 hours in this particular car from blast day to paint day, 167 hours. There's probably 20 to 25 hours of cutting and buffing and polishing. Spent another couple hours this morning. But as you can see, I mean, I've just been kind of walking around so you can see I've been running my mouth. But I mean, this polish really added an extra depth of clarity. And there is no fillers in this polish. It's water-based, it's easy cleanup, and so what you see here is really what you've got. I like griots, but they're petroleum-based, so they fill in scratches and things. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing on a paint job that's cured more. But on this car being, 3 months fresh, or less now, or less, I think, 2 months since paint, it's very important not to trap any solvents. You want to let everything escape. Now, I'll save the wrinkle back and the dye back moaning for another video, and try to condense it a little bit where it's not so long. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed the convertible project. Again, I'll probably do one more video when it's completely done outside and about to go home. Until then, thanks for watching. Like, share, comment if you have any questions. Subscribe. My channel's grew very well. I'm up to almost 700 subscribers. Appreciate it, everybody. And we'll talk to you soon.